your life in the wild these days, with the felling of the forests, with the hunting for food, the hunting for the live animal trade. It's a pretty grim life.
It's this interesting collection of films, everything from people's very deep emotional connections to individual animals, to these really broad ranging films, excellent, beautiful scientific films about ecosystems in general, to very also specific films about scientists working in areas. Together many of the most necessary elements for creating a movement to preserve wildlife.
Hi, I'm Debbie Klughers, and you're watching Keepin' It Green. You just watched the promo for the Wildlife Conservation Film Festivals, which are coming to New York City in a few weeks and have been shown all across our country, basically. And today I have with me Mr. Christopher Gervais, who is the Executive Director, Founder, Promoter Extraordinaire for the wonderful film festivals that you produce. And Chris, why don't you talk about that and tell us what's going on?
Thank you for having us back again, Debbie.
We're
always grateful for you to be here. And basically, my role is the founder, president of the Wildlife Conservation Film Festivals. We abbreviate WCFF, and our next event is in New York City, October the 15th through the 20th. We do these events all over the United States, and starting in 2014, we'll be doing some international venues as well. And very simply, our mission is to help preserve global biodiversity through the use of our films. And we do that by showing superb, award-winning natural history documentaries, specifically on wildlife, at these film festivals. We bring the filmmakers here. We bring many of some of the world's leading scientists, like Dr. Sylvia Earle, like Ambassador Ian Redmond. They come to the film festival. They talk about a particular species or ecosystem that they're working on. And
Carl Safina will be in New
Carl
York City.
Safina will also be in New York for this event. And Carl,
local character here at East Hampton.
And so, that's the type of program we have. We have over 50 documentaries during the course of the week. We have about 30 different filmmakers and scientists coming as far as Australia, from India, Italy, Germany, that will be at the film festival.
And we've got a filmmaker from South Africa.
And we do. We've got a filmmaker joining us here right now from South Africa. And many of the films that we're showing will be world premieres. They have never been seen before, not just at a film festival, but even on television or in theaters. So
how do people get in touch with you to get their film screened to become part of the film festival?
Sure. The best way to do that is visit our website, which is WCFF.org, and from there there's a contact button. And you can just send us a quick email or fill out some information.
And do you still have all the different categories, children, and
we do.
different?
Yeah, we have
wonderful.
over 15 categories, and there have been entries in all of them this year. And of course, the winners were announced over a month ago. And what we did this year is we actually have something different. We actually have a children's series. On Saturday morning.
On Saturday, that's
and great. Those films are specifically for children with families with young people that are probably in, say, elementary through middle school.
And it's affordable.
It's very affordable. Unlike some other film festivals where it's really not affordable, you can come to our event in multiple ways. You can buy a pass for the entire week if you choose, or if you just want to come to a 2-hour series, and every 2 hours we call a series,
Yep.
and during that 2-hour period, there is anywhere between 2 to maybe 6 films, depending on the
And
length.
some have panel discussions.
And they all have a speaker.
Oh,
every
okay.
every series has a
that's great.
speaker this year. Now, there are also 2 panel discussions this year, where in the past we only did 1. Our panel discussion on Wednesday evening is about the ivory trade, which is right now a hot topic. Very hot topic, and we have, I think, presently 4 people in that panel discussion, which includes Brian Christie, the award-winning journalist from National Geographic, John Hemingway, who produced the film regarding elephants that we're screening this year. We have Kevin Ali from International Fund for Animal Welfare, abbreviated IFAL, and then we have Bill Clark, who is actually an officer with Interpol, with their Wildlife Crimes Division.
So you're bringing together
Yeah,
major players in this
that
conservation.
panel discussion first will show Battle for Elephants, which is John's film, John Hemingway, and followed by that panel discussion on Wednesday. And then on Saturday, we have another panel discussion, which is how ecotourism affects wildlife. And we have a number of scientists. We have Ian Redmond, who's the United Nations Environmental Program Ambassador. We have Dr. David Guggenheim, who's the ocean doctor. We have Jennifer Posek, who's the president of One Expeditions, who is, one of the people who actually takes the tours into wildlife areas where, how is tourism affecting the behavior of these animals. So, there are 2 very engaging discussions both evenings, and then we have a very special guest on Sunday night. We're giving a Lifetime Achievement Award to Virginia McKenna. And Virginia, of course, was the star of the film Born Free back in the 1960s, and who then founded the foundation, Born Free Foundation.
I've got the books, Born Free, Living Free, and Forever Free.
She is,
As a kid, right?
she's flying into New York on Saturday, and we'll screen a film that won a category this year, a film produced by Nature, Fred Kaufman and Janet Hess from Nature on PBS. And, of course, Virginia is in that film, and basically it looks back on Born Free 50 years later.
Wow.
And Virginia goes back to the site where the film was actually made and talks about, how lions have been affected since then. There are now less than 18,000 lions on the entire continent of Africa.
Wow. And what was the numbers in the past? Were they millions?
Well, I think back in the 1960s, there was well over 100,000.
Okay.
Maybe even 200,000.
Wow, so
it's gone quite a bit.
So, Chris, the films that are being shown during the festival, how can people, because if they can't get to the festival but they see us talking about it, how could they watch some of these films? Is there some way to,
We're actually going to be launching the Wildlife Conservation Channel in 2014,
that's wonderful. Good for
where
you.
people will have access to selected films 24 hours a day,
That's
7
great.
days a week.
Oh, will it be on online? Or
It'll be online,
That's great.
and it's something that we're in the process of finalizing now.
Good.
Actually, I have staff in LA this very
Good
minute
for
who are working on that deal. But it's exactly what it's for, what you just said. Not everyone can come to New York or Los Angeles to our film
But
festivals.
the
so
films are just outstanding.
we'll give people, whether they're in Beijing or Bangkok or Sydney, the ability, wherever they are on the globe,
great.
to be able to watch these films. And not just the films, but they'll also be able to see the panel discussions. They'll also be able to see the discussions with the filmmakers and the scientists.
Good.
So everything we do during the course of the week will be on video
Very
for
good.
people to view.
And you've been doing this for how many years? Just a few.
This is technically, we're in our 3rd year, so
Wow.
it's
Come
been
a long way.
I started off with a force of 1 by myself, and now I've got an incredible team of 15 people, mainly based in New York. We have a few people outside the city and some overseas, but it's been a great ride. It's been really
Focused,
we're
your mission and
very
your
mission, very detailed oriented, but it's great to have a group of people
Good.
that are supportive in multiple ways.
And also a venue for these filmmakers that may not, have an outlet to show their films. And
Yeah, we have some filmmakers that this is their first time they've ever done a film.
Wow.
Some of them are students.
like our guest. Let's talk
Like
to
Matt.
Matt. This is Matt Bracken. You're an anti-poaching ranger.
Yes.
In Africa.
In Africa.
And that's a dangerous job.
Yes.
Before we were talking about, I heard last week a poacher was killed, and you said they're killed every week.
Yeah, actually, for us, my name's Matt, and thanks.
I'm sorry to start on that note,
It's great to be here.
but-
No, it's wonderful. It is dangerous. And that's my film. This is actually my first film. I'm an anti-poaching ranger, not not a filmmaker.
Filmmaker, right.
But I am now, I guess.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And your film has won an award, by the way.
It did win the award for Best Amateur Film.
Wow.
So thanks for that. And yeah, I'm in my suit here. I'm feeling very strange outside my camouflage. But anyway, 30 years back, I got my start in Africa. So I'm actually an American from Minnesota. My grandfather got remarried, took me on his honeymoon to Kenya and Tanzania.
Wow.
And I got the Africa bug. And it got in me and been going there ever since and working in safari camps, safari guide, the whole thing. And 2 years ago, you know, I saw the decline in the animals in a big way from 1984 until now. 2 years ago, I said, you know, I gotta do something about this. So I quit my job in the safari industry, and I went through a very rigorous, very military-style anti-poaching training. So an anti-poaching ranger is essentially the army for the animals. The animals aren't equipped to deal with the weapons.
Yeah.
Essentially the army, the poachers that are coming in to kill them, whether it's for their horns for the rhino, whether it's for their ivory tusks of the elephant, whether it's for the bones and the skin of a lion. Whatever it may be, we're out there trying to protect them. And these mano-a-mano or animal-a-mano, with no weapons, humans get destroyed. But with guns, with high-powered rifles, they have no chance. So the anti-poaching ranger, we are the army of the animals, 24/7, 365, in the bush, trying to stay in between the poachers and the animals that they're trying to kill.
Do you shoot the poachers?
Yes, yes and no. I work in South Africa. 90% of the rhinos left on Earth are in South Africa, so that's where that particular war.
How many rhinos are left on?
There's about 20,000 rhinos left. They're in Africa. You have the black rhino and you have the white rhino. There's about 4,000 black rhinos, about 16,000
And tell
white
us
rhino.
why they're killing these animals. It's not for food.
It's not for food.
Right.
Rhino has never been used for food. And unfortunately, in Africa, the rhino horn, the elephant tusk, they've never been of value. That
In
animal was
Africa.
there for meat, or sort of the the Native American style.
Okay.
They used every part of it, and the animal was worshipped. It wasn't until first it was the Arabs, and then it was the Europeans, and the Americans, and now the Asians. Everybody's coming in to take out the African animals
For?
to use their body parts for something. So take the rhino. Now, what we find is now the rhinos are shot dead, either machine gunned down or a sharpshooter takes them down, and we find them dead. There's nothing wrong with them except for a bullet hole and their horns removed.
That's terrible.
So the rhino is being killed, being driven to extinction for their horn.
And
Essentially, this is a piece of gold now on their head. The rhino horn now is going for $40,000 a pound in China, in Vietnam, where most of the horns are going. $40,000 a pound, and when you think each horn is quite a few pounds, you're looking at a piece of gold, which is their horn, which is $500,000 for one horn, and they have two of them.
this is a very, I'm sorry to interrupt, but this is a very organized trade, because this is the CITES agreement where we don't trade endangered species like that, and parts. So they're really getting under the...
They're getting under, and it's completely organized crime. Now, the
Wow.
rhino horn is the most valuable, the most expensive illegal substance, more than any weapon, more than any drug, more than even human trafficking, this whole deal. So the rhino horn now, the people that are involved
buying
are
them?
the same organized crime as far as the smuggling routes out
Who's
of the
the
country.
end user? Who's driving
80% of it now is going to Vietnam. Vietnamese. A few years back, in 2006, Vietnam had an economic surge. And so you have these very wealthy young Vietnamese. And in the Asian culture, it is very important for me to show you how wealthy I am. How wealthy and how above the law. So an illegal substance that is expensive is even more valuable. So now what we're finding, which is sickening, is that in Vietnam, young, wealthy Vietnamese are using rhino horn for a status symbol. Wow. And if you come to my house, I show you how wealthy I am, because look, I have a rhino horn. And I powder a little bit of that horn into your wine. And you drink the cocktail of the rich.
Wow. You brought a little film clip with you.
I
Would
did.
you like to show it?
I would love to, thank you. So for the last 2 years, after I went through, it's a very military style training, but then you have to become an anti-poaching ranger. You also have the added dimension of learning how to behave around wild animals in the bush and living in the bush. So the training is a 40-day training, and after we graduate, which less than half of the people in each class actually graduate. It's very mentally and physically challenging. Then we go out into the bush on patrol. Each patrol is 16 days. You have your pack of food and your sleeping bag, and you sleep on the ground.
And your gun.
And your weapon, correct, yes. Yes.
Don't forget that.
Yep, and you have your weapon. And you go out in teams of 2. So what my film is, it's called Boots on the Ground.
Okay.
And Boots on the Ground is about the young individuals. These aren't your military sharpshooters. These are your normal black, white, young South Africans, generally. I was the first American. And they get paid very little. They leave their families. They're in great danger. They eat terrible food.
To protect the animals.
To be the army of the animals.
That's wonderful.
My film is about the sacrifice
Wow.
that these young individuals, these normal
Kids.
or abnormal, however you call them, kids,
Wow.
are out in the bush risking their lives to save the
Wow.
world's last rhinos
Wow.
and all of the other animals. The last 2 guys to die on patrol were killed by lionesses at night.
And
They
you
were
were
taken and
telling
eaten.
me before we started that you actually get hired by private landowners.
Correct. I
Not
work
the
for a-
government. So people are hiring you, spending their money to give the animal soldiers a job to
Yes.
protect the animals.
Yes.
It's wonderful.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
terrible that you have to be hired, that you even have a job.
Yeah,
Actually.
so we were a private security firm for the animals. And landowners who their animals are their assets. They have photographic safaris on their land, and these animals are what tourists come to see. So they hire us. I work for a company
protect
called
their
Protrack
interest.
to protect their animals.
Wow. Let's watch this film because we
Let's
don't
watch
have a
this
lot
clip.
of time left.
This is called Boots on the Ground. This is a 5-minute trailer from
Okay.
my film, which is in Christopher's Festival.
Why are you here?
Fun, Sergeant.
Come again?
For fun, Sergeant.
Does this look like fucking fun?
No, Sergeant.
Boys, does this look like fun? No, Sergeant! Does this look like fun? No, Sergeant! So why did you come to Protrack? What is your choice? What is your reason?
They're not animals, Sergeant.
Why didn't you become a fucking game ranger then?
They're pussies.
Why are you here?
To protect animals and just to get strong.
Why are you here?
I hate animal slaughter and greed, Sergeant.
Why are you here?
Sergeant, I want this to be my lifestyle. I love the bush to serve and protect the wildlife. Fuck all these rhino poachers. And we lock all those bastards up. This is my career, Sergeant.
Get up, on your legs, come on.
Without the boots on the ground, the rhinos would be extinct. Without rhinos in the wild, a lot of other animals will go extinct. A lot of trees will be gone. Grasses will be gone. The ecosystem will be overrun with weeds and poisonous plants. Little bugs can't breed that need the dung of the rhino. Impala, zebra, wildebeest won't be able to find fresh grasses to eat, fresh twigs and bushes to eat. The rhino has been around for 50 million years, and in that time it's evolved into a super species, one that helps nature, one that helps all the other animals around it. If the rhinos go extinct, nature crumbles quickly after it. Without the boots on the ground, nature loses. Nature loses this war. Rhinos lose this war. Rhinos and nature aren't equipped with weapons to fight these poachers, to fight this army that's coming in after them, trying to kill them, trying to wipe out nature for human profit, for human greed. Without the boots on the ground, sacrificing the comforts of home.
I saw her when she was like 9 hours. Now she's 24 days. 24 days.
coming to live, to work in the bush 24/7, 365, to be the army of the animals, to be in between the poacher and the rhino, to keep them alive, to keep the circle of life revolving. Without the boots on the ground, rhinos go extinct and nature loses this war. And humans will quickly find that our survival revolves around the survival and the health of nature, wild spaces, and things living free as they're meant to live. Without nature, the soul of even humans is gone and destroyed, killed, and made extinct. Without the sacrifices of the boots on the ground, we lose this war. We lose this fight for nature, for everything that lives in it. And we lose the whole circle of life. We lose life itself, and the earth dies, and we die with it.
So this next film we're going to show is actually called Jungle Book Bear, which was produced by Oliver Getzel and Ivo Nordenberg, who will be coming to the next film festival. And it's narrated by David Attenborough, so we'll show about a minute clip from this film. And yeah, show that, please.
Shere Khan, Hati, the cheeky monkey tribe, Bandalog, and perhaps best loved of all, Baloo. This is the story of the real-life Baloo, the Indian sloth bear. Sloth bears are shy and secretive creatures. Surprisingly little is known about them. We are going to follow the fortunes of a young male, our Baloo, setting out on his first year alone. Karnataka in southern India, this sparse landscape is Baloo's home. In a country of over 1 billion people, there's little space for wildlife, so this inaccessible terrain is a haven for wild animals.
That was great. So that'll be shown in New York City?
That'll be shown just in about 2.5 weeks in New York, yeah.
Great. So we have about 3 minutes left, Chris, and I want you to take the time to let the public know, how to best get in touch with you, how to help you, how to submit films or whatever, and I'm interested also in the international festival, because that's...
I mean, again, the best way to reach us is to go to our website, WCFF.org, and from there you can basically send myself directly, Christopher at WCFF.org, or any of my staff, an email message, or contact us by phone. We're delighted to hear from filmmakers. We're fortunate at this point we're getting hundreds of films sent to us each year from filmmakers across the globe, and we never turn a film down as far as to review it. And just because we cannot show something now doesn't mean we'll not show it at a later date.
Oh, that's good.
And that's how filmmakers can get in touch with us. And then as far as the general public, I mean, again, the film schedule for any of our film festivals, as far as the films and the speakers, is always on our website.
And you've been doing about 2 a year, haven't you?
We do 2 a year right now. We do our flagship film festival in New York City, and then we have a much smaller event in Miami. But that more focuses actually on field trips. Like we did a behind-the-scenes tour at the Sea Turtle Hospital in the Florida Keys, which was a great day. We got the opportunity to see 27 sea turtles at once who were being nursed back to health.
Oh, that's great.
And then next year, we are launching a film festival in Los Angeles. So
If
that'll-
someone, I'm sorry to interrupt, but if someone wanted to have you come with the film festival, could you arrange that? Like if some organization or school group or?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, it'd probably just be a short 2-hour presentation,
Okay.
but, you know, that is our outreach program,
Great.
and we've done that before. We've done it here in the Hamptons, and we've done it in other locations across the country. So, yeah, again, just contact us, and we're happy to hear what people's ideas or suggestions are, and we'll see if we can work something out.
Great. So thank you, Matt, for coming from South Africa.
My pleasure.
I think you're my farthest from home guest.
Oh,
so
really?
far.
That's an honor.
Yeah, I've
It's a
had
very big honor.
California. I think you're farther.
You had Charles from Hawaii we brought that one time.
So who wins?
I'm still farther.
Charles or
South
Africa?
Africa's still farther, yeah.
Charles.
Okay.
I brought you your
Have
two
you met
farthest
him?
guests then.
No.
Oh, his film was beautiful.
Yeah.
He won for the
Hawaii's,
most.
Hawaii's Undersea Ohana. So Charles, I'm still giving you some publicity
There you go.
so-
It was a beautiful film, and he
Yeah,
won
yeah.
an award. So you're
And-
bringing me the
and he
award
did.
winners.
So I bring you the award winners, and I
Okay.
bring you the people from the farthest instances.
Thank you
so.
very much. Thank you so much, Chris, for
Thank
coming
you.
on. Nice to
Appreciate it.
see you as always.
Thanks,
Thank you
Debbie.
for coming, and be safe and keep
Thank
up the
you.
good
Yeah,
work that you
yeah.
do. I mean, it's wonderful what you've given to the planet and to
you.
Africa and the animals. Thank you.